Dr. Watts, the mic is yours.
Dean Carter, Provost Sheftall, and to all of you who are gathered here this evening, I am just overwhelmed. I just had no earthly idea that I meant this much to those of you, all of you that I love at this place, this institution that has been my home for a long time. And my son Michael kept telling me, Mother, when I go places and people discover I am your son, they tell me the stories of how you encouraged them when they were about to give up, how you threw them a lifeline. And he said, you don't even remember what you've done. I'm not, I can't tell you how I feel. But I'm going to be brief because I really thank you for coming out in the rain and staying so late. That means so much to me. When I came to Morehouse College, my husband and I had just gotten married. We were newlyweds, 3 months. I'd gotten a job off at Morris Brown, and then the president of Atlanta University recommended me to Morehouse College, and I accepted that job just as I was about to accept the job at Morris Brown because my husband had a job here, and we wanted to be in the same city. I didn't have the privilege of working under Dr. Mays, but he was packing and moving out when he interviewed me. And he looked at me when I walked in, and I looked so young. You saw the picture with me sitting on the floor with those men around me, including Dr. Carter, Harding Epps. The photographer thought I was a student, and that's why he said, well, why don't you just sit on the floor and let the men sit around you? He had no idea that I was a professor here. And obediently, I thought, well, in Morehouse, this is what they do. So I sat there. But Dr. Mays said, he was looking at me. He said, are you married? I said, yes, sir. 3 months, my husband and I. Where is your husband? I said, he's here, sir. What is he doing? I said, he's working on his master's in biology, and this year he should be completing it. He's in his 2nd year. After a while, I said, wait a minute. This man doesn't want to hire me. And he's asking me questions. I said, Dr. Mays, I assure you, I'm happily married. I'm not interested in these men in Morehouse. I'm just going to do my job. And he fell out laughing and said, you're hired. If I had not been married, he was not going to hire me. Wow. This is just has been a marvelous journey. But I've been trying to leave Morehouse for a while. And I'm not saying this negatively. I had just planned to do other things. 3 years after my husband and I settled here, I got an offer at Lincoln University. We talked about it, thought about it, and decided to stay in Atlanta. 2 years ago, year before last, my pastor, Dr. Taylor, came to Founders Day, and he came to my office and we sat and talked. At that time, I shared with him my desire to leave Morehouse and do some other things, turn another corner. And I told him to keep that confidential, and he gave me his blessings, and that meant so much to me, Pastor Taylor. I would have left around the time just before my husband died, suddenly of a heart attack. I turned another corner. Then my mother became ill with senility and then Alzheimer's, and I turned another corner. And so finally, 2 years ago, year before last, going on 2 years ago, Dr. Sheftall asked me what were my plans. I don't think he expected me to say I should to leave Morehouse and do something else. And he said, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't. So then last year, he said to me, Ann, what are your plans? I said, I really can't work any longer. I've got to go. I want to do some other things. And he said, Ann, you got to stay the first semester. Who's going to do all this work? I said, one semester. That was last semester. They, Ann, all of these things that happened the second semester, you can't leave. I said, Dr. Sheftal, only one semester. That's all I'm going to promise you. He became interim president, walked into my office and said, I'm ordering you. That's what he did. He ordered me to direct the Morehouse College Summer School and the Morehouse College Summer Academy. Now that may seem wonderful, but I've sent him my letter, and he has not responded to it. He threatens me. He said, I guess you know that I haven't answered that letter yet. And I said, and I guess you know I'll write my own answer. I shall miss this place. Members of the staff, you are God's people. I know sometimes you feel undervalued. You feel that you're not making a difference. Remember, I'm a member of the staff because I'm out of the classroom. I want to encourage you to be not weary of well-doing. Without the staff, dedicated staff here, Morehouse College would not thrive as it is thriving. My colleagues on the faculty, you are invaluable. On Scholars Day, when I was calling those names, 4.0, 3.77 and above, and these men, hundreds of them, walking across the stage, and periodically I thought to myself, excellent men walking. They were walking across this stage. With all the problems we are having at Morehouse College, one thing is still supreme. Morehouse has continued through rain and snow, through furloughs, through hard times. Morehouse has continued to produce excellent men of Morehouse who have become Morehouse men. And no matter whatever else we do, we must never stop producing great men from this institution. If we stop doing it, there is no other place. And so, what has kept me here? I love my staff members, fellow colleagues. I love my faculty colleagues. But it is the men of Morehouse that I love more than anything else. And when that glee club, I didn't know they were here. I thought it was supposed to be the quartet. And when they started walking across there, I lost it. It is the students who have kept me here. And we give you one scenario and I'll sit. One day it was cold, the temperature was low, it was raining, and the room where I taught was leaking. And I said, well, I'm going in here and I'm going to let the students go because I don't want them to get the flu. I walked in the classroom and waiting for them to say, Dr. Watts, we can't stay in here. One raised his hand, Dr. Watts, I want to ask you a question about what we talked about yesterday. Revenge is sweet. Was an essay we were looking at where this lady who was angry at the Nazis for killing her family took a gun and she started shooting one of the soldiers, and she pumped all these bullets in him to get revenge, and she walked away feeling empty because the man was already dead. You couldn't kill him but one time. So revenge is bitter. It is not sweet. And so the young man raised his hand. Another said, well, I want to talk about that. And another said, I want to talk about that. Before I knew it, we were 30 minutes into the class. We were all huddled like this. But the men of Morehouse persevered, mindless of the cold and the rain and the leaky room and the raggedy building. They persevered. That is what has kept me here. And that's what I'm going to miss. You see a picture of me there. I'm walking among the students. Look at my face. That is when I'm happiest. Not being an administrator, though we have fond memories of teasing Phyllis and listening to the wisdom of Dr. Sheftal and looking at Miss Key and said, I don't believe you said that. I shall miss that. But my greatest joy has been walking among these men and being renewed and being revived every day I have spent with them. That is what has kept me here. And so as I leave, well, I'm not really going because the president has asked me if I would direct his inauguration, and Dean Darden has asked me to do something during freshman week, and Provost Sheftal has not responded to my letter stepping down. But as I leave, I shall always remember this night, which represents everything that is wonderful and good and precious and blessed about Morehouse College. Morehouse College, Morehouse College, bless her name. I love you all. Thank you very much. May God bless you and keep you and be with you forever and ever and ever. I love you all. Thank you.